Welcome to Pigeon River Farm, doing farming right. I'm Robert Brown, the owner of Pigeon River Farm. Thank you for viewing. Good evening. In tonight's episode, we're going to talk about the change of seasons. We are going into meteorological winter right now, so we're at the end of right after Thanksgiving, and we're getting our first little taste of snow. Changes the dynamic, other than obviously the landscape, but it changes our dynamic of how we're going to manage our cattle and other livestock out in pasture. The birds grazing is pretty much done for the year, so they're all moved into the high tunnel. The goats, we got a lot of pregnant goats, so we're going to be taking a little tighter care of them, so they're going to have a little more they'll have a lot more barn access, and some hay that we're already putting out. But the cattle, we've had an incredibly good year. It's a very blessed year. We upped our pasture management to a kind of a new level, utilizing zone products to the letter of their instructions, and it really paid dividends. We had the right amount of rain, the right amount of nutrients, and the right amount of management, plus the rotational grazing, and we end up having a good quantity of hay still out in the pastures. For the livestock numbers versus the consumption throughout the year, and this deep in, I'm thinking we're still at till may go as deep as mid-December. That's a significant savings. Earlier years, similar conditions, we'd be already going out with hay for the last 2 to 3 weeks. So we're looking at a month, maybe even slightly more, that the cattle will be able to maintain grazing on the pasture. Now, snow is going to be our biggest factor. If we end up with a heavy snowpack, and it's already starting, the cattle are going to have to adjust accordingly. They will paw for some of it. If it gets to be too rugged, we will utilize putting hay out on pasture. I am excited to announce, and I will be demonstrating as we get into winter a little deeper, we're changing up our management. Winter management for the hay is we're still going to continue using the bunk wagon, but we got a bale unraveler or unroller, and we're going to be putting the hay directly out. This is a little different technique. I've done a lot of analysis on this, and it benefits us in 2 ways. One is it's going to make it a little easier for the cattle to eat, waste a little bit of hay, but when you look at the nutrient cost, and that was my whole point, the nutrient cost right now is so high when it comes to putting fertilizers on fields. Hay costs are actually minor in comparison. So what we're going to do is utilize the hay for 2 reasons. One is putting it out in pasture allows us the ability to control where the cattle go much more accurately with a bunk wagon, disperses the cattle's manure and urine over a larger area, so that's the key benefit. Additionally, we'll have some loss that they don't eat, and that will turn into nutrients for next year's hay crop. So what we're doing now will benefit into next year. So this technique has been utilized by many others, so I haven't invented anything new here, but we're going to see how it works in our particular environment. So hope you have a chance to stick around as the winter months come on. You'll have a chance to see this new tool used, and have a chance to see our cattle out on the frozen ground in the snow and prospering. Well, I thank you very much for your time, and have a most wonderful evening.